Hey there! I'd like to walk through a method I've been using to do coin joins on testnet using nothing other than the official Bitcoin Core client. We're not going to use any third-party software or mixing services or anything like that. It's super simple to do, and really, if you can copy paste, you could do this. First, we're going to go over self-CoinJoins. So you can actually also use this method to make payments to merchants and have really granular control over your coin selection. And then we're going to look at using PSBTs, partially signed Bitcoin transactions, to do coin joins with other people. The main concept behind coin joins is really to take several inputs and mix them in such a way that it's very hard or impossible to tell who's received the payments. So here, one of these is basically the original coin join proposal from Gregory Maxwell on the right hand side, and then on the left hand side is something from the Samurai team. They really do some amazing real world coin join stuff. This is just me playing around, but so on the right hand side you can see 5 inputs, 5 output transaction, and obviously that seems very hard to anonymize. So that's the idea here. We're going to try to do something similar. The idea here is basically just creating a bunch of addresses that we control, but no one on the blockchain is going to know that these are our addresses and that we control all the different addresses. We actually sign them with individual private keys, but all that happens in the background. You're not going to have to know anything about that. So, all right, let's jump into it. You just do this all on testnet. So you just want to download a Bitcoin Core. Well, you actually download the whole client of Bitcoin Core, open it up in testnet mode. I'll do a separate video on how you could do that, get it fully synced up with the network so that you're up to date. And once you're ready to roll, you just go ahead and open window, and we're going to go to console. So that's where we're going to do all our little coin join magic here. Everything's going to happen right in this little area. And we're going to go ahead and we are going to run a command called list unspent. And what this is, and again, you could just copy paste this. I'm going to have this little guide on my GitHub, so you can just follow along. You'll need to have some testnet coins sent to you, and you probably want to do it in a couple transactions, so you'll have something looks like this. Each one of these little sets here represents a different transaction that I can spend. So each one of these is an unspent output, and in essence you can think of your wallet as like the wallet that you keep in your pocket, and then these here are like the individual bills, your 5s, your 10s, your 20s. They come in different denominations. Each one has its own specific amount, and you can see how much you have in each of these different transactions. What we're going to need here is our transaction ID and our V outs to do the coin joins. You can also see other information here like your address, script hub key, as I mentioned, the amount. Is it spendable? It needs to be spendable in order to do this. So hopefully all your outputs will say spendable. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to go ahead and get this little guide, which I mentioned I do have on my GitHub, and we're going to just go ahead, do some quick math and see how we're going to divide this out to get equal outputs. So we've got 4 inputs. I want to do 4 outputs. So let's just get our calculator and we'll drop this number in there. And what we're going to do is we're going to just divide this number by 4. But before I do this, we're going to actually need to allocate some money that is going to be paid in fees. So let's just go ahead and we'll subtract, say, 350 sats for the transaction. Actually, let's just do 400. Make it easy. We'll say OK. And this is what we're going to have left after that 400. So we'll just go ahead and divide by 4. And then this amount is going to be our coin join amount. So no matter what the amount of the input coming in, we're going to have 4 equal outputs that equal this. And we'll do other mixes as well, so we can do further privacy gains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is really the most a protocol is going to handle. Actually, did I go after the, I think we got this many. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 after the decimal. So we're going to go ahead, paste this here in coin join amount, and we're going to use this as the amount for our coin joins, as I've mentioned multiple times. Sorry for repeating myself. I do like to retype this. I've found some weird results. Bitcoin Core doesn't seem to like if I copy paste directly from my calculator. So this coin join amount, we're going to fit into our transaction. So this is actually the transaction. This is really the heart of everything that we're doing. So here is going to be our inputs. So these are going to be where we're going to drop our transaction ID and our V out for each one of these. we're going to need to generate some addresses, and then here this CoinJoin amount, in a normal transaction you might have different amounts here, but in this case we're just going to drop the same thing here 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get some new addresses to put in our addresses here. So we need 4 addresses, so we're just going to copy paste this 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll just paste these into the template here. 3 and address 4. All right, so now we have the second half of our transaction all set up here. Now we need to go get our transaction ID. So transaction ID, I'm simply double clicking here and it will highlight the entire thing. And then the V out is going to be 6. If you get the V out wrong, you won't be able to send a transaction. That's like trying to spend money that you don't have. So don't do that. V out always has to be correct. And we'll actually see some more about these V outs as we do some mixing. And in fact, this is going to get a lot easier as we do subsequent mixing. So every time we do a mix, this gets, gets easier the first time, and then it stays at that same easiness level for the most part. And you'll see why. It's related to this process that we're running through right here. All right, so simple as that. We've actually created our entire CoinJoin. I'm not sure how long that took us, but certainly wasn't very long. Now we're just going to go ahead, copy the entire set there, all the way from create raw transaction down to this single quote. And we'll go ahead and we'll paste it right there and hit enter. And this returns our hash. You could actually double click this and that will select the whole thing. So I'm going to go ahead and place this raw hex here. And I'm going to hit home in Notepad so I can go back to the beginning. And I do like to decode these. So one of the things you could do is just type decode. I must have hit caps lock, sorry. So decode, and then you can hit up or down and space. And then I'm just going to go ahead and Control V to paste my hex. And then this is going to be the transaction that I have created. So here we're going to see the transaction ID and V outs that we specified, and we'll also see the values that we have for our output. So here we can see our 4 equal outputs. So everything is looking good. We can go ahead and sign our transaction. So I just type sign, and we're going to sign raw transaction with wallet and hit space and Control V to paste again. Same thing still on my clipboard, that hex. And here we go. So now we have a signed transaction. So this, now you could decode it again. At this point, we'll just go ahead and send. Okay, I'm going to hit down to select it, space, Control V, and we didn't spend enough sats. So it looks like I am 3 sats short. So what we could do here is we could actually just drop all these by 1, 1, 1, 1. So that's 4 sats. Hopefully that will be enough. Sometimes it changes when you change the transaction. So we'll go ahead and we'll do that. And we will sign. And we'll go ahead and send this. Alright, so since we're running a full node, we can see I'm actually showing the transaction already here, and this returned a transaction hash. So we can actually take this and paste this into a block explorer, and it should show right away our transaction. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so here we go. We'll go ahead and drop our transaction hash in the search engine, and here we can see it. Hasn't even been sent a whole minute ago. We got no confirmations yet, which is no problem, but here we can see things like how much fees do we pay. So we paid 411 sats. You can see the size was 298 bytes, so I think that means that we have to pay about 1.5 sats per byte at least. I've just been doing it. If I get it too low, it tells me no problem. I just adjust the math. Super simple. So I had these different amount inputs, and we just combine them all into equal amount outputs. super simple. And we could just do this again. As soon as we get another confirmation, we could just remix these, and then we can create a few layers of these mixes to obscure where all this the source of these coins. You can actually just put these into cold storage. You can also do merchant payments. For example, if one of these amounts was the amount that you had to pay to a merchant, you could do equal amounts. So one goes to the merchant, the rest go to you. If you have change amounts, there's different ways to account for that. You can actually just take your change amounts, divide that in two, and then you'll have coin joined change amounts as well. So I'll show you how to do that shortly when we do some coin joins with other people. So when we show how to do coin join using the partially signed Bitcoin transactions with another person, we'll show you how to handle some of that change, or at least my ideas to handle it. So I'm going to pause. We'll wait until we get at least one confirmation. I'll show you real quickly what happens in our node if we try to run list unspent right now. We don't have anything. There's no money that we can spend right now. So once we get a confirmation, we'll be able to spend this. And in fact, usually the node will tell you this amount is pending for whatever reason. I guess it's already confirmed it here, but it's not showing here. Once the network actually validates it, then this transaction will have 4 outputs, and they'll actually all be in this exact amount. They all are going to have, well, we'll discuss that in a minute. All right, be back when we have at least one confirmation.